Okay, I'm recording this. So there are 2 online homework due tonight, which will be 5.5 and 9.1. 9.1 is actually very easy, not too difficult. But 5.5 is the one that's difficult one. Do not forget your final is tomorrow. Don't forget your final is tomorrow. Final is tomorrow, which is at noon. So again, check your D2L, check your school email address. I will send it to you guys. Same thing as the midterm, print out the test or write on paper, scan it, email it to me by Saturday. So it's due on Saturday noon. So you got 24 hours to do so. It will cover chapter 4.1. So it covers chapter 4.1, 4.2. So those are the 2 chapter 4s we'll cover. And then we will cover the chapter 5. So 5.1 till 5.5, the whole chapter 5. And then we will also cover 9.1. So those are the ones that we will be covering for your test. And your test have around 14 to 15 questions, like usual, like the same thing as a midterm. It does count, some of them does comes with a part A, B, C, D, and I will concentrate on a few of those so you guys get the full point. So today's class is finish 9.1, do a little bit of 5.5 homework, and then after that concentrate on your finals, because there are 1 question that's worth 11 points in your test. And I really want to concentrate on it so that you guys can get full 11 points in your test. Does anyone have any questions so far for me with the schedule that we have for today and tomorrow? Anyone? Is anyone okay with the scheduling? Okay. Next thing I want to point out is your grades. There are sometimes I forgot to put your grades online, or maybe I didn't update your grades, or sometimes if you have a grade that your online homework is been extended, that I forgot to updated it. So make sure you email me and tell me that, hey David, you open 2.1 and 2.2 for me, it's not been updated, the grade, can you check it again? So please let me know, go to D2L and check your grade, because if you don't tell me that will be written, that will be posted as your grade, so it'll be final. So make sure you guys please check D2L, check your grade and see if I make any mistake or not. If I do, send me an email. This is very important. Your final grade will be posted on Monday, this coming Monday. So you got a few days to check it. So this weekend, once you finish your test, once I finish grading your finals, check your grade and see if you guys got some problems with the grading, then I will correct it. Otherwise, on Monday when I post it, that is your final grade. You guys clear with me with the final grade here? Because it's very important here. Okay. Questions so far for me? Anyone have any questions for me on 5.5 homework? 5.5 homework, I do have a few questions. I think I told you guys on Monday class, when you guys do the word problems for 5.5, I told you to not round, right? Do not round your answers till the very final answers, okay? So please do not round your final, because if you start rounding your answers and and then put your answers to your final answers, they will mark you wrong because of your rounding. So I want to tell you that do not round your answers till the very end of it. Okay, so if you start rounding your answers, you will get it wrong. Okay, so one of the questions that I'm gonna show you guys share the screen now. One of the questions they ask you is like, for example, like this is determine the time for P to double the investment if it's compound annually, monthly, daily, and continuously. So in order for you to use to find this compounded annually, monthly, and daily, you have to use the formula. And the formula in this case is this. This is a formula, A equals to P1 plus R over N NT. This is a formula to do for compound monthly, yearly, anything. But if you want to do compounded continuously, then you will use PERT. Okay. So, so in order for you to do question number 7A, which is annually, Okay. So when they say double, means that your final your final and your final amount in this case is 2p. That means that you double what your principal is. Your p is still principal, your initial amount, which is still principal. The question here is asking for what is the rate. And the question is asking you to find when it's compounded annually. Rate is 4.3%, sorry. Rate is 4.3%. Make sure you change this into decimal. So 4.3% in this case will be 0.043. And n in this case is 1 because annually means n is 1. So the formula we're going to use here in this case is A equals to P 1 plus R over N T. Derek, you better pay attention here because you asked me a lot of questions and my main problem to your question is you round your answers. That's why. You round early on, that's why you get it wrong. So 2P is in here. P, because your final amount is in 2P, twice of the amount that is invested. P and then 1 plus your rate. Your rate in this case is 0.043. Okay. We need to find the time. Okay. N in this case is 1 and then 1 times T. Okay. So the first thing when we do here is we have to divide both sides by P in this case. Okay. So you notice that the P in this case will be cancel out. So what we left is 2. And this, you will get 1 plus that. Where's my calculator? So 1 plus 0.043. So that gives me 1.043. And then 1 times t is just to the power of t. Okay. And now we need to find t. So in order for us to find t, we have to bring the t to the front. So in this case, we have to log both sides. So when you log both sides, then this t, you can bring it up front. So in order for us to solve for the t, we have to divide the log of this. So log of 1.043. Okay, so what you do here is you have to do the log 2 and then divided by log of 1.043. And that is your answer. In this case, it will take you 16. This time you can round. And the answer asks for 2 decimal places. This is 16.46. Okay. Next, the question here is asking the same thing, but this time your n is monthly. So monthly in this case means your n in this case is 12. So now this is 12 and this is 12t. So I'm gonna redo this piece over again. I still divide it by p. So what we have in this case is 2 equals to, now you need to use your calculator to figure this number out. And Derek and everyone, do not round your answer. Derek, can I get a confirmation from you so that you pay attention here? Derek, are you there? Derek? Okay, yep, good. So I will do question 12. So in this case, you take 1 plus 0.043 divided by 12. So these are the numbers. No, please do not reduce it, do not round it. 1.00358. Lots of 3 behind, bunch of 3. And then you got 12t. because your n in this case is 12. And like last time, we log both sides so that this 12t can bring it down here. And like last time we did here, we divide both sides by the log. So in this case, the same thing. We divide both sides by the log. And don't forget, you still have the 12 in here. And then after that, your whatever answer you get, you divide by 12 because you still have the 12 in front. So what do I do in this case is I do log 2 first, and then divided by this log of all this icky number 1.00358333333. Another 3 if you want, log of it. So this is the answer we have when you divide log 2 with log 1.0. And then you take this answer divided by 12 because there's a 12 t here. So we have to divide by 12. So this gives me 16.15. And you do the same thing for C, where this time is daily. So daily, in this case, you will use 365. Okay, and then you just repeat the same thing. You use 365 here. So this is how we do question 7, A, B, and C when they have annually, monthly, and daily. If a question is given you quarterly in this case, N will be 4. Okay, N will be 4 if it's quarterly. And for question D, we use continuously. Question D, continuously, we don't use this formula. We use the PERT. P-E-R-T. This is for continuous. So make sure you guys read the question carefully. Are we doing this or the continuously? Again, A is 2P. P equal PE. R in this case, still the same rate, 0.043. And then the T is T. And the same thing like what we did last time here is we divide both sides by P. So P will be canceled out. Last time we log both sides. Because of the E here, we will not log, we ln both sides. So the ln and E will cancel out. So what you left here is ln2 equals to 0.043t. Okay, so the ln and E will cancel out. And then lastly, you just divide this by 0.043. So your calculator in this case, you will figure out ln2 divided by 0.0043. Forget there's another 0 here because no 10. There you go. My bad. So that will give me 16.12. So this is how we do question number 7. So make sure you guys understand this and please don't round till the very end. Okay. 12. Nayara is asking for 12. So this is question 12, letter C. So I can tell you that using a graphing utility to graph the function is a regraph, so you do not need to use a graph to make the horizontal asymptote. So the horizontal asymptote for this case, you do not actually, you need to look at this. So 100 is the smallest one. So see the 100 here is the smallest one. So that is your 100. And then the highest one is the highest cap, which is the 1100, which is the highest capacity you have. So these are the two for part C in this case. You do not need to actually use a cap. Oh, 100 is wrong. What? Use a graph horizontal asymptote. Oh, 100 is wrong. It should be 0. Sorry. Let me try. It should be 0 here. I think it should be 0 in that case. Yep. So so you always go from 0 to the maximum capacity in this case. In this case, it's 1100. So Nayara. So usually for question 15, question 15, 12C in this case, you do not need to use the graphing calculators. You just pick 0 to whatever maximum capacity you have. The asymptote will be, the smaller, larger, in case of process will push the value as time increases. So when time is increasing, the asymptote with the smaller indicator process. The larger one. So as time goes, this is your time. So as your time goes bigger and bigger and bigger, it will reach the higher asymptote. So that means it will reach to the larger p-value in this case. Okay. So so this is how we do question C in this case. Usually, if I ask you to do this in your finals tomorrow, I won't ask for C. I will ask for A and B. Okay, I will ask for A and B in this case. Does anyone here has any questions on this section 5.5 here? Anyone here has any questions on 5.5? Majority I want to point out to you here is a lot of you get very close to the answer. And the reason why you get very close to the answer is because you round your answer like what I did over here, like this question. So do not round this answer, because once you round this answer, I show it to you. I show it to you what happens when you round your answer here. Last time we got this as 16.15, right? I'm going to show it to you what happens if you round it to 1.004. You see a big difference, okay? So log 2, you will see it, divided by 1.004. I'm not going to use all the decimals. And then you divide this by 12, right? You see the difference answer? This is 14.47. The correct answer is 16.15. So that's the reason why that do not round your answer here. And that's why you get it wrong. You guys all clear with me now? Same thing happens in your test. If you round this answer, your answer won't be close to 16. Your answer will be like 14 point something, which is wrong in this case. So that's the reason why that you have to not round your answer here. Anyone have any questions for me here before we continue 9.1? Anyone good? Okay. So we're going to talk about chapter. Can we do 21? Yes, we do 21 here. Because 9.1 is very easy. Question 21, last one. This question is asking us to do this. The population P in thousands of a certain city from 2000 to 2007 is given us by this equation, where T in this case is 0 corresponding to 2000. In 2005, the population of the city is 1,990,000. So first thing is you have to find the K and then figure out if this K is increasing or decreasing. So first thing first, I want to point out to you guys here is this 2005, T in this case is what? When you have 2005, T is 0 when it's 2000. So 2005 means T is, anyone know what's T in this case? 5, yes, good. T is 5 here. Now, next we need to know is your population. Your population in this case is given us by this number. Should we use all this number out? Should we use the almost 2 million here? Should we use this number? No. Yes, that is correct. Tina, can you tell me why, the whole class, not just me, but everyone, why you cannot use this number for P? This question says this number. Tina, you say no, yep, why? Anyone know why we cannot use this number? Yes, because P is in thousand, so you cannot use this, so you have to cut the 3 zeros off. So this is the number you will use for P here. So plug everything into this equation. So it's 1990 equals to 1646.7 E K, and then my T in this case is 5. So can someone tell me what should we do first to solve for K here? Anyone know what to do to solve for K first? What should we do first? Anyone? Anyone know what to do here to solve for K? Yep, you have to divide by all these numbers. Yes, you have to divide by 1646.7. Can you round this number once you divide this answer? The answer is no rounding. Don't round it. Okay, I will leave it here. That's why I don't want to divide. What's next once you get rid of this 1646.7, dividing that? Anyone know what to do next? We need to get rid of which one first? E or the 5? Anyone? Yep, get rid of the E. So how do we get rid of the E? What's the opposite of E? Yep, we have to ln both sides. You see, I give you a parenthesis here because we're going to ln this whole thing. Okay, and ln and E will be gone. Okay, and now how do we get rid of this 5? We just divide this by 5 because this is multiplied, so we divide by 5. So this is how you find your K. So what you do here is you divide these two numbers. So I'm going to take up my calculator here. So 1990 divided by 1646.7. No, do not round it. Put ln on it. And then after that, divide this, whatever you have, by 5. So K in this case is given us by this number. Okay. How many decimal place? 5. The question asking you for 5 decimals place. So it's 0.03787. This is the 5 decimals place I have. 037. So 0.03787. That's right. 37. Yep. This is 5 decimals place. And then the question here is this increasing or decreasing? It's very easy to figure out. Is looking at your K. If your K is positive, it's increasing. If your K is negative, it's decreasing. So since K in this case is positive, it is increasing. Okay. So now we got this new model. So this model will look like P equals to 1646.7 e to the K, this is a K that we have, 0.03787t. So this is the new equations that we have for this question now. So in order for us to do part B, is very easy. You just need to substitute what inside here. You want to find 2010, right? 2010 is your P or your T? 2010 is your population or your time? Time. And what is 2010 here? Should I put what number here for 2010? You should put 10 in here. Yep. So put 10 inside here, use your calculator, and you will get your answer. Same thing happens to 2015. You just put 15 in there, and you will get your answer there. So this is how you do question B. Okay, you have to use your calculator. And for question C, according to the model, during what year is it that reached 2.9 million? So 2.9 million in this case is your P. Okay, 2.9 million in this case is your P. So what you do here is you put P in this case, 2.9 million is this one. This is 2.9 million. Again, we cannot use this number like what we did last time here because P is in thousand. So you have to get rid of the 3 zeros. So what you need to do is take all this and plug it into here. And you have to solve for T in this case. So this is how we do question C. Actually, do we do this question in class on Monday? Yes, we did. So I would recommend you to go and watch the video. I think we did that right over question 5. Remember question 5? We did that in question 5. So please watch the video on online Monday because we did this online before. Okay. All right. So what we're going to talk about in today's class is 9-1. So 9-1 is very easy. You should be happy. 5-5 is very tough. We talk about what we call as linear and nonlinear system of equation. But for this class, we were talking about nonlinear system of equation. So in order for us to solve system of equations, either than linear or nonlinear, we got two types of method. One is a substitution, and one is the elimination. I think you guys familiar with these two methods because you guys have really kind of know this before. In this class, we will not gonna do elimination method. We will do substitution methods. Okay, so we'll be doing a lot of substitution methods in this case. What's the meaning when I say you have a nonlinear system of equation? A nonlinear means that it is not a straight line, not a linear straight line. So for example, it can be a straight line and it can be a parabola. Okay, so if you have a straight line and a parabola, you can intercept this at 2 coordinates point, and this point is the one that you're looking for. Or sometimes you can also intercept at only 1 coordinate point if you have a parabola. Or sometimes you can intercept at where? No coordinate points, means that your parabola is either above the line. So this is what happens when you have a parabola with a line. Okay. What happens when you have a circle and a line? What kind of answers can you get? Can you get no answers? Can you get 1 answer, 2 answers, 3 answers, 4 answers? How many answers can you get when you have a circle and a line? Anyone know? Can you have no answers? Can you get no answers? We can have no answers. No answers means that like this, the circle and the line are they're not touching at all. Can we have 1 answer? Yes, we can have 1 answer, means that this line will just touch 1 point. You can have 1 answer. Can we have 2 answers? Yes, that means that it touches at 2 of them, right? Can we have 3 answers, 4 answers? No, we cannot. So this is the meaning that this is what we call as nonlinear system of equations, means you can have multiple answers or you can have no answers. Now my question is, let's talk about a parabola and a circle. So can someone tell me how many answers can you have here? Anyone? Can I have no answer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many answers can you have? Think about this. Can you have no answer if you put these 2 together? That means they're not overlapping. That means they don't contact each other. They don't intersect. Can we have that case? Yes, you can have that case, which is right now, right here. 1 is over here, 1 is over there. They don't even touch, right? So you can have this case. Can you have 1 answer? We can have 1 answer where you have a circle and your parabola is just what? Touching at 1 point. So you can have 1 answer. Can you have 2 answers? Yes, when you have a parabola touching 2 points, that is. So you can have 2 answers. Now my question to you is, I want you guys to think. Can you guys have 3 answers with a parabola and a circle? Can you guys have 3 answers? Yes or no? Can we have 3 answers in this case? Yes, you are correct, Pasivu. We can have 3 answers. Means that your parabola will look something like this, where it touch 1, 2, and 3. So you can have 3 answers. My question is, can you have 4 answers? Can we have 4 answers in this case? Yes, because if you draw your parabola like this, then you can have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have 4 answers. Can we have 5 answers? Can you have 5 answers between a circle and a parabola? The answer is no. So you cannot have 5, 6, 7. So the maximum answer you can have is 4. Now, when I say all these answers, like 1 or 2 or no or 3 or 4, this answer has to be in coordinates form. So that means that you will have, if you have 2 answers, means you have 2 coordinates answer. So for this chapter 9, mostly all your answer has to be written down in coordinates form. And if you have 4 answers, you got 4 coordinates in this case, which are these 4 coordinates. You guys with me here with this? Okay. It's not that tough. Okay. So for example, this is a straight line and this is a parabola. How do I know this is a straight line and this is a parabola? It's because your power. So if you have all power 1, it's a straight line. If you have one of them is a power 2, it's a parabola. This one is a parabola because you have a power 2. This is a circle because as both of them has a square on it. Okay, so that's how you figure out easily which one is which. This is a line, linear line. This is a parabola. This is a circle. Okay, so so what you do here is usually we will solve equations. So I will show you how to do this. Let me show you some examples so you guys know what to do. 9.1 only have 12 questions. So so like this case, so let's do this question number 2 here. So using substitution, 7x plus y is equals to 2. X cubed minus 2 plus y equals to 0. So you can tell that this is a straight line like this. And this is a cubic line. So we look something like this, cube. Okay, and you can tell here is this touches 3 times. Okay, so what do we do here using substitution is usually we will use this, the easy one to substitute. You can use a hard one, but it's very difficult. When you use substitutions, we want to pick the simplest variable to substitute. So for this case, you find out that your y here will be the simple to substitute here. The reason why is because your y here has a power 1 and your leading coefficient is 1. So what you do here is you solve for y. So how do you solve for y in this case is I moved that x over there. So what do I get here is y is equals to 2 minus 7x. And what do I do next using substitution is I plug all this 2 minus 7x and I substitute back into your y here. So what we have in this case when you substitute is x cubed minus 2 plus, and the y we have in this case will be replaced by 2 minus 7x equals to 0. So now what you do here is we try to solve for x in this case. So the good thing is the 2 and 2 is cancel out. So what you get is x cubed minus 7x equals to 0. So I factor the x out. I will get x squared minus 7 equals to 0. So now we got 3 answers. I told you there's 3 answers here. So in this case, first answer is x equals to 0. And then I put this equals to 0. I get x squared equals to 7 when I add 7 to both sides. And when I take the square root of it, don't forget square root have plus and minus. So x in this case is plus minus square root of 7. So in this case, you do have 3 answers here. One is 0. 1 is 7 and 1 is negative 7. And what you do here is you have to find your y answer. So how do you find your y answer? You plug it into your x here, okay, into this one. So y, the first number we plug in is 0. So when you plug 0 here, you get 2. So the coordinates here is 0, 2. Because when x is 0, y in this case is 2. The next one we plug in here is -7. So when you plug in negative square root of 7, you will get 2 plus 7 root 7. The reason why you get plus here is because negative times negative is a positive. So this will give me negative root 7 for your x. Your y in this case is 2 plus 7 root 7. And then the last one you need to plug in here is a positive root 7 here. And you will get 2 minus root 7. So the other answer is, if you plug in root 7 inside, you will get 2 minus 7 root 7. So these are your 3 coordinates answer. Do you notice that? Do I give them in decimals or do I keep them in square root? Anyone see that? What do I keep them as? Do I keep them as decimals? Do I need to use my calculator and figure out this number, or should I leave it in square root? Question, anyone know what to do? Should I put this, should I take out my calculator and figure out what is 2 plus, or should I just leave it like this? What do you guys think? Should I do 2 plus 7 times square of 7 times 7? Should I do something like this? Or should I leave it like that? Yes, Nayara, you are correct. You have to leave all this like this. Do not change it to decimals. Same thing to your finals and your tests. Same thing, everything. Because once you put this in decimal like this, everything is wrong. Okay, so do not change everything. Leave it like that. So if you look at this question, the question says that you have to put the smallest x value. Can someone tell me among all these 3, which one is the smallest x value? Among these 3 answers, can you tell me which one is the smallest x value? The first one, the second one, or the third one? Which one is the smallest one?
Negative square root of 7.
Yes, so this is the first answer you put in. Then which is the second answer you put in?
0.
0, 2. Yep, this is your second answer, and then this will be your last answer. You're correct. So make sure you guys know, because if you put not in the order like what I show it to you, you also will get it wrong in your homework here. Okay, so this is not difficult, right? This is just using substitutions to solve it. I want you guys to go ahead, number 3, yeah. Yep, go ahead and try. Number 3 is the same thing. I'll do number 4 is easy. There are 2 straight lines here. I'll do number 5. You guys want to try to do number 5? Okay, why don't you guys do number 5 for me? Try to do number 5 here. You got 2 answers. The good thing about this online homework, you know you got 2 answers. In the test, I will just give you this. You doesn't know how many answers you will get. So I want you guys to try to do number 5 here, question 5. Use substitution. In the test, I won't tell you what method you use. Just pick whatever method you want, but I can tell you mostly is substitution. So I want you guys to go ahead and do number 5. I'm doing number 5 here also. Give me your coordinates. Private message me. Please private message me. I want everyone here to do number 5 because those are the questions you get on your finals tomorrow. So do question 5. And then give me your answer. This is easy. Very good, Amaka. That is correct. Very good, very good. Yep, Harry is correct. Lindsay is correct. This is not tough compared to what you guys did before. This is like very easy. Make sure you get the full points here. Okay, very good. Lindsay, Harry, Amaka is correct. Will probably take you like 5 minutes more extra. Okay. Question 5. See, Amaka was quick. Aries, you guys are good. It probably take them 2-3 minutes to do it. Yeah, you guys are good. Need 3 students. Where's the rest of them? Yep, Kayana Ware is correct. Very good. Private message me, please. Do not put it to everyone to see your answer. Kayana Ware is correct. So far, all 4 of you guys are correct. You have to practice this. It's in your test, worth 5 points. It's an easy 5 points. Derek, there should be 2 answers. You only get 1 of them. Yes, that is correct now. So make sure you guys know that mostly your answer has 2 answers here or 3, but 2 is mostly the common one. Derek, you are correct now. Anyone? Only 5 students. I got 23 students. What happens to the 18? Sleeping? Come on, you guys. In class, make sure you show me your work in your finals. In your test, I do want to see work. Don't just give me like this answer. I want to see work. How do you get those numbers? All right, Nayara. Okay, just drive safely, okay? Just drive safely. Don't worry about that. Drive safely. Yep. Make sure you go home and watch the video. So we're gonna use substitution to do question 5 here. I'm not gonna use substitution in, yep, 0, 0 smaller, Hannah, that's correct. And the bigger one. So, yep, not 0, 2, nope, that's wrong. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use substitution, and I'm not using the bottom one because of the square. We're gonna use the top one here. And which one I pick? I pick X. The reason why I pick X instead of Y is because of your leading coefficient. Excuse me. Yep, Mary, you're correct. So because of your leading coefficient is 1 here, so I will pick him. If you pick Y, you end up with a fraction, which is not wrong. But when you plug it in there, everything is going to be a fraction, which you do not like it. Yeah, Hannah, you're correct now. So that's the reason why that how do I usually pick. So I'm going to tell you guys how you guys pick. Which one is pick, which one is which. First, pick the one that has power 1, and the leading coefficient has to be 1. This is the one that I will pick. Okay, and I will solve for X. So that means I move the 2Y over. So in this case, X in this case is 2Y. So what do I do with this 2Y is I substitute it into your X. So what do I have in this case is 3 times 2Y. That will give me 6Y. You still have the Y squared equals to 0. So what we do in this case is you factor out the Y. So you will get 6 minus Y equals to 0. And then you make them equals to 0. So this you will get 0. And this you will get 6. So that's why you get 2 answers in this case. So what you do next is you use this equation to find your X. So the first number you put in here is when Y is 0. So when Y is 0, 2 times 0 is still 0. So X is 0. So the coordinates here we have here is X is 0, Y is 0. The next one we have here is to plug Y to become 6. So 2 times 6 is 12. So these coordinates will be 12, 6. So your answer in this case will be these 2. 0, 0, and 12, 6. You guys all right here so far? Okay. It's very simple, 5 points. This is worth 5 points in your test. Very simple 5 points. So I don't want you guys to really mess up with this. Okay, so I want you guys to go home and try. 9.1 is very easy. That's the end of 9.1. 9.1 is so easy that you guys managed to do it. Make sure you guys know how to factor. That's the main part of it. But what I want to tell you here is how we're gonna review for your tests here. Okay, so let me show you to you what something I want to point out to your test here is this kind of questions. Where was that? College algebra. Chapter 42. This is the one I'm worried about. This is the big one. All right. So please pay attention, and we're gonna do question number 7 here. Okay, number 7. I want you guys to pay attention. Those who are not here, whatever, please watch this again and again and again and again and again and again, because you will get this in your test. How much point is this worth? 11 points. This one question worth 11 points. Okay, so listen and pay attention. Now, the first thing they ask you to do here is, I'll just make it so you guys can see this one. So you just concentrate on this one. So the first thing we're gonna do in this case is they want you to find the domain. So in order for you to find the domain, you make this equation, the denominator equals to 0. So you put x squared minus 4 equals to 0, and you solve for x. So x squared in this case is 4. And then when you take the square root of it, you got a plus minus. So x in this case is plus minus 2. So what is your domain? Listen, not this. Your domain is all real numbers except x equals to plus minus 2. This is the answer for your domain here, not this. I got a lot of students give the answer here. They won't get the full point. You get a half a point off. This is the answer I'm looking for. Next, I want you to write this in the simplified form. Simplify means that you need to factor it. Okay. The question didn't ask you to factor it. The question wants you to ask you for simplified form. So you have to factor it. So you have to factor this g of x here. So I want you guys to factor the top one. What is x squared minus 5x plus 4? Factor it up. Oops, sorry. Factor this one up. The factor should look something
X
like
minus 4, x minus 1.
very good. And the bottom one, x squared minus 4, the factor will be x minus 2 and x plus 2. Okay, so this is a factor for him. And when I ask you to simplify means, can you cancel anything here? Looks like nothing can be canceled. So this is the simplest form that you can get. Okay. C, you need to find your x-intercept. So does anyone know how to find your x-intercept in this case? This is so important that you guys need to know this. How do you find your x-intercept? Set y becomes 0, but for this case, Jackson, that's correct. But for this case, the more quick, because when you set this becomes 0, anything, then you multiply x minus 2 and x plus 2 to here, you get 0. So the best way for us to find your y in x-intercept in this case is set your numerator becomes 0. So set this equals to 0. That's how you find your x-intercept. Very easy. Once you factor it, you set that the top one to become 0. So what is our x-intercept in this case? X is what? And how many x-intercept do we have in this case? We have 2 x-intercept. One of them is 4. And the other one is 1. Don't forget, your intercept is in coordinates point. 4, 0. and 1, 0. How about your y-intercept? Does anyone here know how to find your y-intercept? Make this bigger now. Yep, and don't give me 1, 4, Jackson. Make sure you give me in coordinates like what I just did it here. Okay, otherwise you won't get full points. It must be coordinate. How do you find your y-intercept? Is you put all your x to become 0. So what happened is you use back your original question here. You put this becomes 0, this becomes 0, this becomes 0. So what you left in this case is 4. Y in this case is 4. The top one is 4 over by -4. And 4 over -4 is -1. So your y-intercept in this case is 0, -1. I'm going to make this red. And the reason why I want to make all this red and box in red so that you can see this is important. Okay. Next, I will ask you for hold. Does anyone know what's the meaning when I ask you for hold here? What does that mean when I ask you for hold? This is all in part C. I'm doing part C now. Part C is a bit more. Anyone know what's hold in this case?
If your factor cancels out.
Very good. Very good, Elijah. If there's something canceled, do we cancel anything here? Do we cancel anything here?
No.
No. So in this case, we have no hold. Yep. So this is how you do part C. Okay. So if there is a cancellation on your factor, that will be the hold in this case. Okay. Now next, D is to find your asymptotes. And we will have vertical asymptote. And you can use VA, which is the short form for vertical asymptote. So can someone tell me how you find your vertical asymptote? Anyone know how to find your vertical asymptote? Anyone? Set your denominator become what? 0.
0.
So that means you set this becomes 0. And what you get is 2 and -2. So if you give me 2 and -2, I will take half a point off in your test. Does anyone here know why? Which is 2 and -2, right? So why I take half a point off in your test? It's correct. It's not wrong. Yes.
You have to give a
you guys
point.
remember that. Yes, Elijah?
Because you have to give a point?
No. Asymptote is not a point. Asymptote is a line. Dashed line. So someone already written down in the chat room. Yes, x equals 2. Very good. You guys remember that. Yes. Don't forget, vertical asymptote has to be x equals 2. Now you have to figure out, do we have a horizontal or an oblique asymptote? And how do you figure out? Is looking at the numerator power and the denominator power. So what is the power on top we have? The power is 2, right? And what is the power on the bottom is also 2. And this 2 is the same power. So if they have the same power, what kind of asymptote we have here? A vertical, a horizontal, or oblique? You will have a horizontal asymptote. And how do you figure out if they're the same power? Is the leading coefficient, the ratio of it. This leading coefficient is 1. This leading coefficient is 1. So this means this is 1 over 1. And 1 over 1 is 1. And again, what happens if you give me this in your test? I will take half a point off. And why I take half a point off class? You forget what? What you forget to put? Yes, y equals 2. So those are the little things I'm talking about that I'll take points off. And those little things, when I take points off, it adds up really quick. So can someone tell me what happens if your numerator power is less than your denominator power? What do you get? If your numerator power is less than, if you got this case, what do you have? A horizontal or a vertical? Make sure you guys know horizontal is always y, vertical is always x. Okay, don't switch these two around. Okay, kaya na aware? So what happens when your numerator power is less than then what you have is a horizontal asymptote is y equals to 0. Okay, if you have this case. What happens if your numerator is greater than your denominator? Then what kind of asymptotes do we have? Then you will get a slant asymptote, or sometimes you call it oblique asymptote, which is y equals to mx plus b. Yes. So it depends on the power that you have here. If they are equal, you take the ratio of it. If it's less, y equals to 0. Both of them are horizontal. If it's greater than, you take it's the same as slant asymptote. Okay. So make sure you guys know how to do this. So far, so good. Anyone have any questions for me? Because it's very important to do that. And I draw this in red box, both of this. All this red box is important when you graph it. Okay. Questions so far before I move on to the next part? This is a part a lot of students miss the point. So pay attention now. So the next part we're talking about is cross. Do this graph cross on your horizontal asymptote? How do you figure it out? Is you take this graph and make it equals to 1. And why we make it equals to 1? Because your horizontal asymptote is 1. So you take the equation x squared minus 5x plus 4 over by x squared minus 4. And you make this equals to 1 because that is the equation here. And you try to solve for x. If you're able to solve for x, then it will be cross. If you're not able to solve for x, you're not solving. You cannot cross. So what I do here is I will multiply x squared minus 4 over here. So what do I have is x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals to x squared minus 4, because anything multiplied by 1 is the same thing. So I multiply this over here. And then x squared is cancelled out, because if you minus x squared on both sides, they will cancel out. And then when you minus 4 on both sides, so what you left in this case is negative 5x equals to negative 8. And then I divide this by negative 5. So this is actually solvable. And x in this case is 8 over 5. So guess what happened is that, do this cross on the horizontal asymptote? Your answer is yes. And where does it cross? It crosses at when x is 8 over 5, y is 1. So this is important. This telling us that this graph will cross on the horizontal asymptote. Okay. Next, end behavior. And how do we figure out the end behavior? The end behavior is telling us that, are we going to positive or negative infinity as the graph goes closer to your vertical asymptote. Now this one have 2 vertical asymptote, so you have to do 4. 1, 2, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, negative 2 on the left, negative 2 on the right. So let's start with 2 plus. 2 plus means that I'm going to draw the graph. 2 plus means that I'm going to use some lines here. This is 2. What's the meaning when I say 2 plus? 2 plus means your line is on here. This is 2 plus on the plus side, on the right side. So can someone tell me what is 2 plus in this case? What number should we use? What number should we use here? We will use 2.1. And we plug it back into this factor one. And we want to figure out, are they positive or negative? So for all these X numbers that you see here, we will plug 2.1 inside. So what happens when you put 2.1 minus 4? 2.1 minus 4 will give us a negative. 2.1 minus 1 will give me a positive. 2.1 minus 2 will give me a positive. And 2.1 plus 2 will give me a positive. This will give me a negative infinity. Why I say give me negative infinity is because they got one negative here, the rest is positive. So what happens to this graph is on this side, this will go down. Because negative infinity means it goes down. And then you do the same thing for 2 minus. 2 minus will be this one over here. That means I will use 1.9. And what do I do is I will plug 1.9 into this equation. So 1.9 minus 4 will give me negative. 1.9 minus 1 will give me a plus. 1.9 minus 2 will give me a negative. And 1.9 plus 2 will give me a plus. So this will give me a positive infinity because there are two negative here, which makes everything positive. So that means this will give me up. You go up. Okay. Now we will do negative 2 plus. So where is negative 2 plus? So this is negative 2. And negative 2 plus is right over here. And that number we get is negative 1.9. That is a negative 2 plus. Again, we plug it right over here. Negative 1.9 minus 4, we get negative. Negative 1.9 minus 1, we also get negative. Negative 1.9 minus 2, we also get negative. And negative 1.9 plus 2, this will give me positive. Because that will. And how many negative we see? We got 3 negative, means this goes to negative infinity. So that means that at this point, this will go down. And finally, you have to do the negative 2 minus. And negative 2 minus is on this side, which means that you have to plug in negative 2.1. And what happens when you plug in negative 2.1 on every single one here? All of them will turn negative. Yes, everything will turn negative. Since there are 4 negative, means it will become a positive infinity. So this will go up. So this is the meaning of your end behavior. Either they go to negative or positive infinity. Now with all this, you can graph this. This is part G, graphing this. So how do we graph this? Is first, you have to figure out your intercept. So we will have your x-intercept at 1, 0. This is 1, 0. And 4, 0, which is right here. Your y-intercept is at 0, negative 1. 0, negative 1 is right here. It has vertical asymptote of 2 and negative 2. We got that covered. You have a horizontal at y equals to 1. This is 1. So it's right over here. And then on part E, it crosses at 8 over 5. What is 8 over 5? 8 divided by 5 is 1.6. So 1.6 is somewhere here. It will cross on your horizontal asymptote. So this is the meaning of crossing. That means it will touch it. Now with 1, 2, 3, 4, with all these lines, you can draw me the graph. So this graph goes down, slowly it will goes back up, and then it will go that way. This graph looks like a cubic graph. So it goes down here, crossing, and then it will go to here. This graph will looks like a inverse function. It goes like that. So your graph in this case will be here, and then this one is cubic, and this one is the other way. So your graph will look very similar to like this way, and then that, and then that. So this is what your graph will looks like for this kind of question. And this whole thing worth 11 points in your test. I'm not kidding you. Okay, so make sure you guys know how to do this. Okay, all right, so attendance time. So make sure that, make sure you type present for your attendance. Yep, present. So again, class, I'm gonna make sure you guys know this. This is very important. Your test, your final test is tomorrow. Check your D2L, check your email, college email. It will be posted, it will send out to you by noon or 11:30. You got 24 hours to do so, and then you Saturday is a due date for it. It will consist of chapter 4, 5, and 9.1 that we just did. What else it is? It has around 14, 15 questions. And one of the questions looks something like what we just did in this question 7 here, which is worth 11 points. So I would recommend you guys to go home and watch the videos, which is very important. So anyone have any questions for me? And you have 2 online homework due tonight, which is 9.1 and 5.5. I'm going to stop sharing here, and I will stop recording.